I never thought a simple dare could spiral so completely out of control. It started innocently, a playful challenge from my wife, Sarah, a mischievous gleam in her eyes that I should have recognized as trouble. But curiosity got the better of me. And before I knew it, I was staring at a reality I could never have imagined. My reflection had changed, and I was her perfect girl. It all began on a lazy Sunday morning. Sarah had been scrolling through her phone, smirking every few seconds. "Babe," she said, her tone teasing but somehow dangerous, "I bet you couldn't pull off my favorite look. You know, the full makeup, dress, heels, the works." I laughed nervously. "You mean, like, dress up as you? That's ridiculous." "Ridiculous?" She tilted her head, playful but firm. "I think you'll be surprised. And if you lose the challenge," her grin widened, "you'll have to stay like that for the whole day." I chuckled, dismissing it as a silly joke. But inside, a tiny seed of curiosity had been planted. What would it feel like? Could I even do it? And, more honestly than I cared to admit, the thought of stepping into her world, even for a moment, intrigued me. Sarah wasted no time. She pulled out a small bag of surprises, lipsticks, foundations, blushes, mascara, eyeshadows, and a dress that was unmistakably hers, soft, pink, and silkier than anything I had ever worn. "You'll start with this," she said, holding the dress up. "And don't even think about cheating." I felt my stomach twist, part fear, part excitement. I had never worn anything like this. Not skirts, not heels, not makeup. But her eyes were watching, expectant, playful, daring. "Okay," I murmured. "I'll try." And so it began. The first moments were humiliating, awkward fumbling with the foundation, struggling to contour my jawline, clumsily applying mascara that smudged immediately. I glanced at the mirror and froze. My reflection was strange, feminine, yes, unrecognizable, absolutely, and for some reason, thrilling. Sarah's laughter broke my trance. "Not bad for a first try. But keep going. You're going to be stunning." I wanted to hide, to run, to escape this surreal situation. But as she guided my hands, adjusted the straps of the dress, brushed my hair, and applied lipstick with meticulous precision, a strange sensation bloomed inside me. Excitement, curiosity, and, strangely, desire. By the time we were done, I barely recognized the person staring back at me. My features were softer, my eyes larger, my lips fuller. The dress hugged my frame in ways that felt impossibly foreign. And the heels, every step felt deliberate, every sway of my hips amplified by the rhythm of the silk skirt. "You're beautiful," Sarah whispered, her voice half teasing, half reverent. "My perfect girl." I laughed nervously. "I don't even know how to walk like this." "You'll get used to it," she said with that knowing smile. "And today, everyone will see." The first time I stepped outside in public was terrifying. The sidewalks felt different under my heels, each gaze amplified, every whisper sharper. I could feel the silk of the dress brushing my thighs, the subtle sway of my hips, the shift in posture that Sarah had coached me to maintain. At a small cafe, a stranger complimented my dress. "You look amazing." I froze. My voice, softer than I had anticipated, came out in a whisper. Thank you." Sarah squeezed my hand. "See? You're already owning it." Every glance, every compliment, every subtle nod of acknowledgement made me feel alive in a way I hadn't felt before. The girl in the mirror wasn't a costume anymore. She was real. And, increasingly, I wanted her to be. The next few days were surreal. At work, I tried to hide my new presence, but subtle changes in my posture, gestures, and softening features didn't go unnoticed. "Wow," my colleague Mia murmured. "You look different today. More radiant." I blushed, fumbling for words. Thanks. Just trying something new." Inside, I panicked. Do they suspect? Can they tell? Will my boss notice? But at the same time, a strange thrill ran through me. For the first time, I was experiencing attention, not as a man, not as a persona I had constructed, but as her. And every interaction strengthened a confidence I didn't know I possessed. Back home, the exploration deepened. Alone, I experimented with different outfits, hairstyles, makeup techniques. I discovered joys in the simplest things, curling my hair, blending blush, adjusting the straps of a silky dress, even practicing subtle movements in front of the mirror. Each day, the hormones Sarah had discreetly given me began their subtle work. My skin softened, my facial features shifted delicately, my body became lighter, more responsive. I could feel her in every movement, in every gesture. Sometimes I would catch my reflection while brushing my teeth or washing my hands. The stranger staring back was no longer frightening. She was enticing, confident, undeniably me. The weekend arrived, and Sarah suggested a small outing, just us, in the city. A real test, she said. Let's see how the world reacts to my perfect girl. I panicked at first. Crowds, stares, social scrutiny. But something inside me, a spark that had been growing since that first day of makeup and dress, urged me forward. We stepped out. The city seemed brighter, sharper, alive. Every glance felt magnified. I noticed how my hips swayed with confidence, how my chest responded subtly to movement, how my hands moved naturally. People noticed. Some complimented. Some stared. Some didn't notice at all. But I noticed everything. Each interaction reinforced the transformation. I wasn't pretending anymore. I was her. At a boutique, a stranger commented on my dress. Where did you get it? It's perfect on you. My heart raced. Thank you, I whispered. Sarah nudged me. Smile. Own it. I did. Slowly. Fully. And for the first time, I felt the power of being seen, fully and unapologetically. By the end of the day, the realization hit me. I was no longer just wearing her clothes. I was stepping into her identity. And it was exhilarating. The real test came unexpectedly. A photo of me, dressed in a delicate pink dress and subtle makeup, appeared online. Someone from the cafe had taken a candid shot. My heart froze. Everyone would see. Breathe, Sarah said calmly. You've earned this. You're ready. I took a deep breath, recalling every lesson from the past week. Every awkward step, every small victory, every compliment, every private experiment. And then I made the choice. I would not hide. I would not be ashamed. At work the next day, whispers circled, glances lingered. A friend, Alex, finally approached. I saw the post, he said hesitantly. You look amazing. I smiled softly. Thank you. I'm happy about it. His acceptance, subtle and genuine, reinforced what I had been learning. Authenticity can't be hidden. And embracing it doesn't have to be terrifying. Over the following weeks, my life shifted. Each day brought new experiences, public interactions, wardrobe experiments, subtle shifts in makeup, new hairstyles. I discovered joy in gestures, movements, expressions. Each compliment, glance, and interaction reinforced a growing truth. This was no longer a challenge, a dare, or a joke. She, the girl in the dress, heels, and makeup, was me. Fully, undeniably, breathtakingly me. The culmination came one evening when Sarah and I attended a small gathering with friends. The room buzzed with laughter, chatter, and music. I felt nervous. Every glance, every whisper amplified my fear. But I remembered the lessons of the past weeks: confidence, presence, authenticity. I walked in. Heels clicking lightly on the floor, dress swaying gracefully, makeup flawless. Heads turned, compliments flowed. And I realized something profound. The girl I had been hiding inside had emerged, fully visible, unapologetic, alive. By the end of the night, I understood the truth. Transformation isn't just about appearance. It's about courage, authenticity, and self-acceptance. Every step, every glance, every whispered compliment had taught me that being fully seen is terrifying and intoxicating. I returned home, slipping out of the heels but not the confidence. I looked in the mirror and whispered softly, "You're real. You're mine. And I love her." Sarah kissed my cheek, smiling. My perfect girl. And for the first time, I knew, I wasn't just playing a role. I had stepped into a life I could own, a self I could embrace, and a power I could never have imagined. The journey didn't end there. Every day was a lesson, every outing a test, every reflection a reminder. And slowly, beautifully, the girl in the mirror became my reality. She wasn't just a challenge. She was freedom. She was me. And for the first time, I felt fully, undeniably, and unapologetically alive. The morning after my first real outing as her, I woke up feeling strange. My reflection looked softer, more feminine. Even without makeup, there was a subtle shift I couldn't ignore. My heart raced as I remembered the reactions from strangers, the way their eyes lingered, the compliments, even the stares that had once terrified me. Sarah was already in the kitchen, a mischievous grin plastered across her face. "Ready for round 2, she asked, carrying a new dress and a small bag of makeup. I hesitated, a mix of excitement and fear knotting my stomach. "Round 2. "Yes," she said firmly. "Yesterday was just practice. Today, we take her public. Friends, crowds, a little challenge. You can do this. I promise." I nodded reluctantly. My mind screamed at me to back out, but the thrill I felt yesterday tugged me forward. I wasn't just curious anymore, I was addicted to the experience. The preparation ritual became almost meditative. Foundation, blush, contouring, mascara, eyeliner, lipstick, each step deliberate, each brushstroke teaching me more about myself. By the time I slipped into the dress Sarah chose, a sky blue satin number that hugged my waist and flared slightly at the hips, I felt a mix of terror and exhilaration. The heels were a new challenge. Every step required concentration, but as Sarah guided me, adjusting my posture, teaching me subtle hip sways, the movements gradually felt natural. "You're stunning," she whispered, leaning close. "My perfect girl." I blushed, heart pounding. The reflection staring back at me was no longer alien. She was me, and I couldn't deny how much I loved her presence. Our first stop was a bustling weekend market. Crowds pressed around us, voices overlapping, children laughing, vendors calling out. Every step felt amplified. I noticed every glance, some curious, some admiring, some questioning. My chest tightened with nervous excitement. "Relax," Sarah whispered, linking arms with me. "You're in control." I tried. I smiled at strangers, adjusted the hem of my dress, and spoke softly when vendors asked questions. The sound of my own voice, higher and more melodic than usual, made me shiver. But each compliment, each appreciative glance, slowly chipped away at my nerves. I was stepping fully into her, and it felt intoxicating. At a small cafe, a stranger leaned over. "You look amazing today. That dress is perfect on you." I froze, cheeks burning. Thank you," I stammered, feeling the warmth spread through me. Sarah squeezed my hand. "See? You're natural." Every tiny victory reinforced something profound. This wasn't just dress up. This was becoming. Becoming her. Becoming me. After the cafe, we wandered through the boutique district. Mirrors everywhere tempted me to glance repeatedly. Each reflection confirmed subtle changes, the softening of my jawline, the curve of my hips, the feminine tilt of my shoulders. Sarah encouraged small experiments, adjusting my hair, tilting my head, practicing soft laughter. With each movement, I felt a little more at ease, a little more in control. Public attention no longer terrified me, it energized me. Even subtle gestures, tucking my hair behind my ear, crossing my legs gracefully, placing a hand on my hip, felt natural. I was learning not just to move like her, but to feel like her. By mid-afternoon, the reality of social exposure became intense. A group of friends we hadn't seen in months arrived unexpectedly at a cafe. I froze, panic tightening in my chest. They knew me as me, not as her. "Wow," one of them breathed, eyes widening. "You look amazing." I blinked, uncertain. Thanks." My voice wavered, but Sarah gave me a reassuring nudge. "You look incredible," another friend said, smiling warmly. "That dress, wow." Their acceptance surprised me. I expected laughter, teasing, confusion, but they were supportive, impressed, curious. And slowly, the fear melted into confidence. Walking home, I reflected on the day. The hormones Sarah had subtly administered were doing their work. My skin felt softer, my body subtly shifted, my gestures more fluid. The makeup amplified my features, the dress emphasized curves I had never noticed, and the heels changed my posture in ways that felt empowering. I realized I was addicted, not to attention, not to approval, but to the freedom of being her. The way I carried myself, the joy in subtle gestures, the thrill of public acknowledgement, it was intoxicating. That night, Sarah and I reviewed photos from the day. I hesitated, then laughed nervously at candid shots. You look perfect, she said simply. Better than I imagined. I don't even recognize myself, I whispered. And that's the point, she said, brushing my hair from my face. You're discovering her. You're discovering yourself. I swallowed, realizing she was right. The girl in the mirror wasn't a stranger anymore. She was me. Over the next few days, public exposure became a series of small experiments. Running errands in skirts and heels, meeting friends for lunch, navigating crowded streets. Each interaction tested my courage, my balance, my confidence. And each time, I emerged stronger, more comfortable, more her. The transformation was no longer superficial. It had permeated my posture, my voice, my gestures, my mindset. The girl I had been hiding inside was emerging boldly, unapologetically, beautifully. The climax of this part came unexpectedly. At work, a colleague asked pointedly, "You've changed. Are you experimenting with something?" My stomach tightened. The room seemed to shrink. I could hide, deny, avoid, or I could embrace it. I took a deep breath, feeling the heels under my feet, the curve of the dress against my waist, the softness of my makeup-enhanced features. "Yes," I said softly but firmly. "I'm exploring a part of myself. And I'm happy about it." The reaction was silence at first, then acceptance, then curiosity. No laughter. No judgment. Just recognition. And in that moment, I understood fully. Authenticity can be frightening, but it's liberating. And claiming it, living it, was worth every pang of fear, every awkward glance, every stifled giggle. By the end of this week, I had crossed a threshold. No longer was I playing a game. No longer was I hiding behind a dare. I was her. Fully. Beautifully. Confidently. Sarah smiled at me one evening, brushing her fingers along my cheek. "You're mine, and you're perfect." I looked in the mirror, and for the first time, the reflection smiled back willingly, proudly. I whispered softly, almost to myself, "I'm her. I'm me. And I finally feel whole."